Hi Arabella, hi Eloise. It's lovely to meet you and to talk about your film Grey Matter. So, for anyone who's not seen the film yet, what is Grey Matter about?
Well, the film is about a teenager, Chloe, played by Eloise here, who during her summer holidays, she becomes a carer for her nan Peg, played by Stephanie Beacham, when she gets diagnosed with Alzheimer's. So Chloe comes up with a list of things that Peg wants to do before she forgets everything, and Chloe tries to make her summer unforgettable.
So, Eloise,
Yeah.
you're playing this character, Chloe, she's strong-willed, arguably a little bit bolshy.
Mm.
So, I'm going to ask you, how different is that character to how you were at that age?
I think any time with my work, I try and find some level of similarity with the character in my life. That's kind of the way I find it is easiest for me to kind of get into a role. And I think with Chloe, I definitely relate to a lot of seeing the injustice in the world, the frustrations in that. And I also think at that age, I think when you're really young, you feel how unfair the world is, and then that kind of gets beaten out of you as you get older. Um, so there was actually something really enjoyable and cathartic about getting an opportunity to stomp around and say how unfair everything is. Um, and also just kind of tap into, some of the struggles that the teenagers, deal with in getting to know themselves and figuring out who they are and what their purpose is and all of that.
Yeah. So, there were two scenes in the film that I kind of just wanted to sort of talk to you about, and they are quite difficult to watch. And that's the scene with a kind of quite distressed Stephanie Beacham in the bathroom, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a scene towards the end where Chloe has like a kind of breakdown in her bedroom with her mum.
Yeah,
So, from both your points of view, how do you even approach doing scenes like those?
I'll let you go ahead, Arabella.
Um, well, I think for me, it's important to have the actors and everyone understand what the scene is really about and where the character's going in that scene, what's happening to them psychologically and obviously in the story. And I think, we had discussions around this with yourself, Eloise, and also with Stephanie. Quite a lot, actually, these scenes. Stephanie felt very passionately about that scene in the bathroom. And yeah, and I think it's really important to let actors kind of bring to the performance, like give them room to really explore how they feel the character would be in going through something like that, and just allowing them the space, having a very quiet set, as quiet as can be when you're on a production that's got a really heavy schedule. And yeah, I mean, we talked through it and just try and give the sensitivity to honor that scene and get the performance. But it's really all down to Eloise and Stephanie, I think, for making it feel real and authentic. And yeah, I tried to give them the space to improvise and make it feel real.
Yeah, I think it's exactly that. We did a lot of talking, and I think that helps. It's difficult if you get a script and there's something as big. Well, also it wasn't so specifically written like that as well. It was a really organic process of slowly figuring out. There were certain parts of it that were in there, but then a lot of things kind of changed or added or got added and kind of molded a bit, and that was just through us talking. And you're so right, Arabella. It's like going into something like that, if the actor is kind of going, where am I, where's my character here, and why am I having this freak out or panic attack or whatever it is. But through us talking a lot, about you guys talking to, and you and Steph talking about her journey with Alzheimer's, that being a progressive illness, and like that requires a lot of timelining and looking at, and then same kind of thing with Chloe's journey around her mental health and what's happening in her life, because there's some ups and downs. And yeah, and I think the process was us talking a lot, and then really then getting into the scene and there being complete freedom to kind of do what we want. I mean, I didn't really know where that was going to go when we started shooting it. I had a feeling, I wanted to get to a certain emotional place, and then I didn't really know where it would go from there. So that sounds a bit hazardous, doesn't it?
So, Eloise, as you know, as we've already been talking, you have a significant number of scenes with Stephanie Beacham, who has a career going back to I think it's about the late 60s, a
Yeah.
hugely eclectic body of work that takes in sort of horror, Hammer horror films to, obviously, the American soap operas to Coronation Street to, she's done an action film recently
Worked with Marlon Brando.
Yes, yeah. So I mean, it's such a wide body of work. So I'm just wondering, what film acting tips were you able to learn from her?
Some I probably shouldn't say.
No, go on, say. You gotta say.
No, I don't know. I mean, specific tips. I don't know about specific tips. That's not really her style. She's way too cool to go, here's my book of tips. She's like, she just has she has a big vibe, a big energy that you watch and you pick up so much from. Like, I picked up so much from her. She's really efficient and logical, like works really quickly, and like and she's looking at everything that's happening, every moving part, and she's a pro. She's very efficient and quick. She doesn't waste time, but at the same time is really personable, has a little kind of joke with everyone on the set, and kind of also is able to go, right now it's time to not talk to me, without having to say that. Like, she's a really incredible woman, and very cool and talented and humorous and strong. She's great.
We all love her, as you can
tell. You really got us through it a lot of times as well, at difficult times. Her energy and humor and vigor, and like, got us through it at times.
She's a natural leader on set, I would say. She not only gets everyone to completely focus in just a look, but she also gets everyone to smile and be in the best mood. And it's such a amazing skill to have. That's just who she is. She's a legend. There's no other way to describe her.
Very infectious. And it's nice to see that as well, to see a strong woman on set, because it's quite difficult, I think, I've found, to strike a balance between people kind of being strong, but also kind of having the socially acceptable amount of subservience as a woman, and seeing her be strong and likable, and was really cool. It was really cool and inspirational, for sure.
So then finally, something a little bit light. The film, obviously, there's a significant thread to the film about bucket lists. So, I'm going to ask, what is on your bucket list?
This doesn't sound like very thrilling. It's not a skydive, but I would, have a family one day, some children, some babies. That's on the bucket list. Maybe, but I'd quite like to be a Bond girl first. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure if you just reach out to Amazon now they've taken over, there's an opportunity there.
I'll start firing off some emails after this.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos will be all ears, I would imagine.
No one's ever asked me that before.
Yeah, that's weird. No one's asked you that.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm quite an ambitious person, and I've always wanted to just do something that like no one else has done. I don't even know what that is. I've always had a fascination with things like Red Bull do these amazing sort of stunts, that things that push the limits of what humans can do. And I don't know, maybe I'm just a bit of a daredevil. I just like adrenaline things. So I'm not sure what that is yet, but maybe one day you'll read a Guinness Book of Record and find my name with something very strange.
As a director and a fan of stunts, maybe you should contact Tom Cruise about the next Mission Impossible film.
There we go. We'll team up, Eloise.
Yeah.
We do the next Bond film. I'll be your stunt double. There we go.
Yeah, perfect. There you go.
So there you are. You heard it here first. That's great. Thank you so much for your time, Arabella and Eloise. It's quite, especially by the end, very moving film. So thank you both for your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a real pleasure talking. Have a lovely day.